Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. I'm laughing because I just started this video. I was really doing well and I started to choke. Yeah, I gotta slow down. Whew. No, this is like it's not decaf, but it's half and half, and I'm like this anyways. If you guys haven't figured that out by now, hold on. Good morning. You having your coffee with me? All right. What is fear? Why are you feeling fear? All these comments you guys write, you know, oh, somebody else has money, why can't I get it? I want the lottery, I believe it. You know, I say it and then I'm thinking, wait a minute. Anything that's not, first of all, there's so much more to this, and we're going to constantly go through all this, but any fear that you have, any fear that you're feeling about anything, and I know some of you want the lottery to win the lottery, you're not feeling the fear, but let's talk about that too. Fear doesn't exist without a belief that fuels it. Fear is just a byproduct of what you're believing and thinking. Fear is when you don't feel like you have control, you don't like what you're getting, or you don't like what you're not getting, and so you have a fear about what that represents, even if it's not really happening. A lot of you, you know, you're afraid of what's going to happen because of this, and then you're actually fueling it. You're putting attention to it. You're throwing more embers on the fire. Well, the fire will die out if you're focused over here, right? That fear is just the fire that you're throwing the embers on, and those embers are the beliefs that say that this is a threat. I don't like this, boom. You know, all these things that you believe it could possibly happen. You also believe that you don't have control over your situation, right? And that's what fear is. If you looked at every single situation in your life as something really positive that will contribute to your progression as a spiritual being, you would welcome it even if you knew that there would be some pain involved. You don't have to suffer. There's a difference between pain and suffering. Suffering is when you battle something, when you don't want it. Pain is when you experience feelings, you know, loss or whatever, you know, whatever feelings you have that come with that experience, that situation. But if you're looking at it like, okay, this is my message from the universe because I asked to win the lottery or asked for these things to help me get through this, to become something greater, so that when I can go to that level where those things that I desire are. So a lot of it is breaking through this materialistic focus. So many of you are so materialistically focused that you don't realize it's the very block from you getting to what you want. And why does it have to be the lottery? Why can't you just have abundance, right? Why? That's the ego dictating, because you think it's an easy thing to get. If I just win the lottery, I get the money and I don't have to do a damn thing. There's your block. You don't want to live your life out. You don't want to experience what it takes to create abundance. You don't want to get in the mindset of abundance. You just want to get a lottery ticket, and you are connecting to the material world that wields nothing for you. Nothing. Because it is just the physical things that we believe are real, that if you backed up, you know, back here, you look at the planets, a dot, and everything else is a dots, are all just energy. And if you are just focused on this dense energy, these material things are all dense, right? When you connect to your spiritual power, anything can happen. But when you are on a higher frequency, you're not worried about the lottery ticket. These guys that are gurus, Eckhart Tolle, all these beautiful souls out there, they're not sitting there trying to manifest the lottery. They have everything they want. They're focused on giving, creating, raising their frequency. The things that are truly important why you came here is if you are focused on everything else, that's why it's not happening. And then you're going, I don't know why it's happening, not happening, like it's a parlor trick. This is not a circus. You know, jump. Doesn't happen that way. You are the universe. So you're coming from a place of either lack, disbelief. Okay, my friend, is it Trisha? You know, looks at my background and makes a big assumption. Well, you're coming from wealth, or you're coming from abundance. Yeah, somebody knocked on the door and just poof, it all happened. This is my journey. I chose it, and I didn't go into the place you go into, where I'm looking at other people going, well, they have this. And by the way, the things that you think they have is so great, I don't think is so great. It holds no meaning for me. I had all that stuff. I don't care about that stuff. And at the time you realize it's never ending. You get it, and then you get it, you don't have enough, you get more because you're so focused on the material stuff. And there's no depth, there's no feeling, there's no love in that. So when you're coming from that dense place, even the material world won't make you happy no matter how much you get. So when you shift your focus and you say, wait a second, I didn't come here for that, because when you die, you can't take it with you. I'm going to tell you that. And you can say, well, if I have all this stuff, I'll give it. You can give right now. What's stopping you from giving? You don't need money to give. And when you go into that mindset of giving, and sometimes it's just sending light and love to people. Can you forgive? I know this is a tough one. Somebody mentioned, what about people that are cruel to animals? To me, that's one of the toughest things. It's very difficult when you take a child or an animal and you inflict some kind of negativity on them. That's very difficult. It's tough to be on this planet where there are people that on such a low frequency that they have total disregard for the very energy that they are. And see, they don't understand that they're doing that to themselves, and the repercussions of that are great. They are great. And just because you're not, putting physical damage on somebody else doesn't mean you're not pushing that negative energy out equally, like the density of wanting to win the lottery. That message is that the material world holds power. I am not happy until I get it. I need it. I want it. Lack, 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 lack. So when you put it aside, and in my training, if you guys sign up for my inspiration, you're going to go into once a week I send out, little videos and things to inspire you. And I also tell you things that I have going on with webinars and stuff, because we're actually going to go through all this stuff and say, this is a process of you understanding that giving and receiving, it's always ask and receive. Boom, let's get rid of that off the table, right? You know me. I don't oppose anything. I like to get you to think differently. I'm not against law of attraction. It is no different than quantum physics. It's just a different way of looking at it that has been proven through science so that we can better understand it. That's it. I am not opposing it. I'm not opposing anybody who teaches it. There are beautiful messages out there. Go with what resonates with you, and I hope that if I can get you to think differently, it'll open up some gateways for you, because obviously if you're going down that other route, it's not working. This attracting things, to me, doesn't work. There's no attracting. You are everything. Everything exists right now. When you shift into that frequency of which these things exist, the gateway's open for you, right? So when I talk about asking is given, it's like ask, I want, and then you give me. Where's the giving in there? There's no giving. There's a balance in this universe, a balance of giving and asking and taking and giving and receiving and all that stuff. Why? Because when that's functioning properly, you're participating in it. If you're not participating in the giving, there's no receiving, because you are the receiving. So somebody said, what if my higher self wants something different? These are two different people? No, that's the ego that says something different. And if you're having the ego say something and your higher self, you know what's right, that's not your higher self talking. That's your ego, which is very dense, that says, I want the lottery. I believe it. Yeah, I know you believe it. You're not in the frequency to receive it. So when you go into the giving and you give, not to deplete yourself, you don't have to be Mother Teresa. When I say give, it's like everything should be around, how can I make this world a better place? Who can I help today? What can I send out? What messages? Instead of most people are meditating, I want me. And so the universe is getting this message of, density, just you, material world, and that's what you're receiving. Density. It's not happening. Why? There's no giving in that. So does this make sense? Quantum physics again. It is getting the messages is actually creating the reality that you are believing and thinking. So you can say you believe stuff all you want, but what's really happening is you're coming from a me dense place. I'm thinking about the right, you know what? How many times do you guys get on there and say, how can I be of service to this world? What are ways I can give? And I know so many of you do. And I know you're all good-hearted, beautiful people. Everybody is. We're all one beautiful light. We've got to pull out of the me. And I'm going to tell you something. The gateways will open. And I've got something for you that is absolutely amazing. I'm going to share with you. And it has to do with accelerating your goals. But you cannot accelerate something of which you're not connected to. This is so important for you to go into meditation and ask to be of service. How can I be of service? And I think we're so afraid to do that because we think we're not going to get the things we want, and it's the reverse. It's the absolute reverse. But if you're doing it to get the things, you're still in a dense place. Oh, if I'm nice to these people, I'll get something, I'll get something. And that is that material dense world that we've been living in that blows up, bombs and kills animals and plants, and we poison ourselves and we eat it. We're eating our own crap, right? Excuse me, I hope that wasn't a visual for you. I mean like toxic stuff on our plants. And we don't even think about it. There's a density there that's like, other beings must look at us and go, oh my God, this is the most bizarre species. They have chemicals, poisons, they put it on plants and then they eat it. Then they get sick and get cancer, and then they all run around and raise money and do all this do-good stuff to cure the cancers, and then they go back and eat the crap. You know those cancer doctors, I actually know some of this stuff goes on, are going into the fast food stuff and eating the same crap that's killing their patients. There's just a density out there that blows my mind. How are you thinking? Where are you coming from? And if you're not getting the things you want, maybe you're just focused on too much of getting what you want. And that is, I'm not happy with where I am. I'm not happy with what I have. There's no gratefulness in that. And I know some of you guys will say, no, I am. But there's still that other, it's not enough. It's not enough. And I get up now, and believe me, I walk that walk. If you guys think that I haven't had challenges, you're kidding yourself. And anybody who makes a comment on this channel doesn't know me. Nobody knows me. My own friends don't know stuff about me, right? Nobody ever really knows anybody or what their personal journey is. Remember that when you're looking at the other. Lend a hand to that person who's hurting, who's struggling to try and achieve that beautiful, peaceful place that you're looking to achieve. And when you get there, no lottery ticket will even cross your mind. But like me, you'll go scratch off a couple and win. And that's what happens when you release it and you tell the universe, thank you for the abundance, and you give abundance. Thank you for the peace, and you give peace. Thank you for the forgiveness, and you give forgiveness. Right? And then guess what? That's what you're creating. Forgiveness, abundance, peace. And then it shows up. And then you say, oh, thank you, that's a bonus. But you get up saying, you know what? Maybe I have a struggle today, or maybe I'm in a situation. You will get through it when you release it and know that this is your opportunity to say, what am I doing that got me in that, and how can I change that? This is my opportunity to change it, to get out of this. I got to change my thinking. I got to switch my frequency. That is looking at things different, being grateful. I know it's tough to be grateful when you're really in pain, right? It takes a while to shift out of that. When you shift out of it, it's you not focused on you, the little me, as Eckhart Tolle says, the ego that it's never satisfied. I know this is tough stuff, but I just want you guys to understand that lottery mentality, I call it the lottery mentality. I want to win the lottery. Great. Sit there with your pile of paper and then do what? It's about the journey, people. Yeah, you can do some things with the lottery, but I'll guarantee you most people don't. And most people, what is it, 80-some%? I think it might be higher than that, of lottery winners go bankrupt, divorced, very unhappy, lose everything. Because the mentality that went into the lottery is the same one, and so they go back into lack. Don't be that person. You're higher than that. And that's what you came here for. Raise that frequency. Focus on the giving and the loving. You might go, wow, this is feeling really good. And then your frequency raises. And you let it go and you say, you know what? Abundance will flow. Thank you for it. Whatever form that takes, I receive it and I'm going to start giving it. What can I do today to give? This is my mission right here, to help you raise your frequency. That's my motto, raising the frequency of the planet one light being at a time. And who's that light being? Starts with us, right? We got to start here. We're always trying to fix everybody else. What about here? We got to work on it, people, every day. I know you can do it. You are perfect. You are so powerful beyond your imagination. Beyond your imagination. You can actually defy the laws of physics. Now, you don't have to walk on water, but you know it's possible. If you don't believe that, then you really don't believe you're going to win the lottery. You have to either believe in everything, that everything's possible, because it is. You know, why? There are no rules, there are no limits to the universe, nor you. But how are you going into that place? Everything's a frequency. Everything's a frequency. When you shift into it, it already exists. You don't have to bring it or attract it to you. You're shifting into the frequency of which that life is. And it's not just the lottery ticket there. It's all the abundance that lies there that has no expectations from these people that resonate with that abundance. There's no expectations. None. And it flows. Because expecting is another law, rule, limit that you've placed on it, that it has to be your way. Let it go. Let it go. You can do it. I know you can. Keep working on it. You are whole. Whole. What does that mean? We're one thing. We're one energy. We're going to talk about that in the next video. One energy. Everything's in that energy. Everything. Everything. Including the darkness, if you want to explore that. I'm done with that. I don't need to experience that. And I don't want to be around it either. I don't have to look at it. I don't have to do anything. I just have to work on me and raising the frequency of everybody who's on board with it. And it will spread, because we are one consciousness. We're all going to experience the benefits of raising that frequency. And those people that are in that darkness one day will say, I'm done with this. I don't want to hurt anything or anybody anymore. And they won't even realize it's the consciousness of all of us contributing to that. They still get to make their own individual choice, because we have the law of free will, right? Here on this planet. A beautiful law for us. So you're whole and you're perfect. You're perfect. How can you not be? Don't say that all this stuff isn't perfect. It is perfection, experiencing every facet of what's possible. You're whole and perfect. You're strong and powerful. Don't think for a minute you're not. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. There's so much happiness in the realms that we don't see, that even during the most tragic situations, there's laughter. Why? Because it's self-imposed experiences and it's not real. And up there, everything's funny, and not funny at our pain, but funny that we actually do this to ourselves. You can laugh. You can laugh at simple things that might have upset you before and say, well, here we go again. Bring it on. All right, what do I have to learn this time? You go, oh, that was pretty easy. That gets quicker. I love you. You are unconditionally loved. Never question that. Don't think for a minute people with money have it all. You don't know who you're looking at or talking to on that street. Don't assume that the rich person has it all. Look at Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade and all those beautiful people who've exited this planet. Robin Williams, we're not happy. What does all of that mean? You get to choose. Blessings to you, my friend, abundance. Do good things, and good things shall come to you. Namaste.